She's going to lose her home in 2 years because of Donald Trump's new Section 8 policy, that if your child's school age, you have to work full time and you can't stay on assistance forever. Honestly, the fact that so many are offended by this is what's truly insulting. Not just to me, but to millions of other people who fought tooth and nail to rebuild their lives. People who have started from nothing and refuse to stay victims. I know what struggle looks like. I'm an addict in recovery from heroin.
Across the country, low-income families who once relied on Section 8 housing are being forced out of their homes. For years, the program provided stability for millions. But now, with landlords pulling out and funding drying up, that stability is collapsing. Many tenants are getting sudden notices, told their vouchers won't be accepted anymore. For people already living paycheck to paycheck, that means packing up with nowhere to go. The safety net that once promised security is disappearing, and it's leaving thousands with nowhere to turn.
Hey, so for anybody that's wondering what's going on with Section 8, if it's true about they trying to get rid of Section 8, it's very much true. That is very much so. That is not no lie. That is not no gossip. That is a fact. And if you don't believe me, check this out. So basically what that means is the government is basically slowly pulling the plug on Section 8, HUD, and any other government assisted living, okay? So what that means, your housing voucher, your Section 8, your HUD, your GRAFA, whatever, if it's funded by the federal government, they cutting that in half, meaning it's not finna be a lot of government housing going on, okay? Now, with all of that being said, they also changing stipulations and guidelines when it come to being qualified and being a recipient of Section 8. And some of that goes along with this. Now, some of those new stipulations and guidelines is this. If you've been on Section 8 more than 2 years prior to this going in effect, you coming up off of it. Going forward, you can no longer be on Section 8 no more than 2 years. If you have been on Section 8 more than 2 years prior to this law going into effect, when it go into effect, you coming up off of it immediately. They notifying tenants who've been on it longer than 2 years, meaning you could have got back on it in 2010. If you have been on it longer than 2 years, they notifying tenants, and each state is going to vary. You have 60 to 90 days, depending on which state. 60 to 90 days after you are notified that you have been on Section 8 longer than 2 years, you have to find somewhere else to stay at, because after they notify you, have 60 to 90 days before you basically would be evicted, removed from the program. It's no more generation to generation. None of that stuff. It's a wrap. This is not a Georgia law. This is not a Texas law. This is not an Alabama law. This is a United States law. Meaning once this is passed, every state that receives funding from the federal government to support assisted living, they cutting the funding in half. And once they cut it in half, they trying to come back and do away with it altogether. Stay tuned.
Across the country, low-income families who once relied on Section 8 housing are being forced out of their homes. For years, the program provided stability for millions. But now, with landlords pulling out and funding drying up, that stability is collapsing. Many tenants are getting sudden notices, told their vouchers won't be accepted anymore. For people already living paycheck to paycheck, that means packing up with nowhere to go. The safety net that once promised security is disappearing, and it's leaving thousands with nowhere to turn.
Come with us as we go evict our Section 8 tenant.
Alright, let's go, bitch.
Today we're heading to our first rental property after the recent eviction of our tenant. There are many pros and cons to having a Section 8 tenant, but the result of this one was extremely bad. After receiving multiple violations from our HOA, we had to take a look at the property and see what was actually wrong with it. And once we pulled up, it was devastating.
She was complaining of rats and all that kind of stuff, and clearly you can see why there were rats, because she didn't really care to actually throw the trash out. She threw the trash into the backyard. It's not a surprise that one would see rats.
In all of her time living there, she hadn't cut the grass once. Look how bad this lot looked compared to the rest of the community. It's no wonder we got many violations for this. So that brings us to today. We had the trash taken out, the grass cut, and we were just there to put a notice of abandonment on the property as our last attempt to communicate with this woman since she'd gone off the radar. If you want to see what happens once we get the keys and go inside and then hit that follow button, stick around.
So here's our hotel room we are currently staying in. So we got the kitchen area, a microwave, purchased a small air fryer to kind of help us cook. We weren't furnished any cookware, and the cookware that we have is in storage, so I got an air fryer instead. So we're using the microwave and the air fryer to eat. We have the refrigerator here. Over here is the little sitting area, TV, dresser, recliner over there. That's where one of the teens sleeps, and then we got one sleeping over there, and we got my bed here where I share with the baby girl, and we got end tables and stuff. But and this is the bathroom, and I got one child in there currently. Don't judge me about the bed. It's just been one of those days. But yeah, this is our home. Just, you know, so that people actually know, yeah, we are actively in a hotel for real. An extended stay.
In 2 years, I'm going to lose my housing. All because the guidelines for Section 8 have changed since you-know-who got into office. They're saying that if you have a child that is school-aged, meaning if you don't have to stay home with your child, you have to be able to obtain employment, have a full-time job, and you cannot be on Section 8 past 2 years unless you have a disability. Can you believe that?
Yes, I can. But you know what really gets me? Watching people act like responsibility is an attack. I just watched this video of her saying that she's going to lose her home in 2 years because of Donald Trump's new Section 8 policy. That if your child's school age, you have to work full time and you can't stay on assistance forever. Honestly, the fact that so many are offended by this is what's truly insulting. Not just to me, but to millions of other people who fought tooth and nail to rebuild their lives. People who have started from nothing and refuse to stay victims. I know what struggle looks like. I'm an addict in recovery from heroin. I've done 48 months in prison and another 18 months in county jail. And when I got out, I had nothing. Not a dollar, not a dime, nothing to my name. But I went to work, hauling granite countertops everywhere, 7 in the morning to 9 at night, 6 days a week. And guess what? 13 months later, I had my own apartment, my own food, my own health insurance, and I paid every bill myself. But here's the part most people don't know. I also live with bipolar 1 disorder, and not once have I ever used that as an excuse for a bad decision or a wrong turn. I stayed accountable, I kept my dignity, and above all else, I held on to my integrity, which meant doing the right thing when nobody was watching. That's what's missing today: accountability, discipline, pride in earning your own way. Section 8 and other programs were never meant to be permanent. They were created to help people through tough times, not to carry them for life. So no, this policy is not cruel. It's a challenge. It's a reminder that we all have the power to rise. Because once you stop letting the government define your limits and you start betting on yourself, that's when freedom really begins. And to me, sweetheart, it sounds like you got a clock ticket.
Even the people who still have vouchers can't find new homes. Rents are higher than ever, and landlords don't want the paperwork or inspection process that comes with Section 8. Families are showing up to open houses with vouchers in hand, only to be turned away again and again.
Baby, y'all see what they're doing with that Section 8 program, huh? It's crazy how they're doing everything. So if you've been on Section 8 for 20, 30, 40 years, they're telling you that you got to be out of there within like the next, I think, 60 days. I don't know how they're doing it, but they're letting you know that it's no longer. But they're giving you a 2-year grace period if you just recently own it. But the Section 8 program is being cut. You got to get out. And it's just crazy all over the world. And at the same time that they telling people they got to get off of Section 8, and they no longer be on Section 8, especially when you've been on it for that long. And when you've been passing it down, they're like, they don't care. You got to go. With that being said, they also created a law where it's illegal to be homeless. So you can't be on Section 8 It's illegal to be homeless. So they're arresting homeless people and telling them they can't be on the street, dragging their cots and their tents and stuff off the street, putting them in garbage cans. Because now they're saying it's illegal to be homeless. But yet, they're putting you off of a program that assists you. Because Section 8 ain't free. You have to pay some of that bill. They don't just give you the whole thing. Some people may get 100%, but not, baby, that's rare. Section 8 ain't free. They're putting you off a program that will assist you to pay your rent. And now they're telling you it's illegal to be homeless. So we can't make it make sense. They also messing with those people at the nursing home. They closing wings because of the Medicaid is cut. It's over with. And so basically they're telling you, go check on your people at the nursing home. This is happening in real time. This is happening in real time. If you've seen this video and you on that program, get yourself together, because you may not have received your letter yet, but you know who you are. Get yourself together. Get your family together. Do what you got to do. We'll see what you can do. Rent out a room, rent out a section, or do something like that. But you guys be blessed.
Meanwhile, the waiting lists for assistance are years long. Some cities haven't opened new applications in a decade. It's not that people don't want to work. It's that even with full-time jobs, the rent outpaces their income.
Wow, this is a big one. Big changes are happening to Section 8 housing this fall, and they can affect millions of families nationwide. The 2026 budget proposal kicks in October 1st, 2025, and they're reducing the HUD budget by $33 billion. That's 44% less funds that would go towards Section 8 and rental assistance. They're moving the funds to the state block grant program, which is going to have $26.7 billion less than they do today. That means the states would be responsible for the rest for Section 8. And the big one, the 2-year cap on assistance. That means after 2 years, if you are an able-bodied, you cannot get Section 8 assistance anymore. Some people think this is unfair because it's not giving enough time for people to get back on their feet, and some people think it's time for this to end already. Let me know in the comments below, should there be more time or not? But for those of you guys who are buying a home today, here is the nationwide average mortgage interest rates. Remember, these rates are just a ballpark. Give your lender a call so you can get an accurate quote.
Something tells me that women on Section 8 are going to really be looking to date this fall. And let me explain to you why. Section 8 is being cut by 43%. Billions is being taken from it. And instead of it being administrated by HUD, they are sending grants directly to your state. So that means if you live in a state that's very red, like Texas or Florida, chances are they're not giving you your voucher back. They're not giving new vouchers to people that want them. Chances are they're going to use that money in other places and other areas, okay? Here's the other thing. If you do get a voucher, you have 2 years. You can stay on a maximum of 2 years. Right now, on average, people are staying on Section 8 for 6 years. So you can stay on 2 years maximum. And you're going to have to work. You're going to have to work, because if you're able-bodied, and able-bodied working people means that it doesn't matter if you have kids, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 kids. You're not hurt. You're not injured. You didn't get hurt in the military. You're not a disabled veteran. You're not a disabled person. You're just someone that got pregnant a lot of times and had a lot of kids. And that's just how you've been getting Section 8 and benefits. Oh, it's game time for you. It's game time. So I got a feeling that a lot of women are getting ready to start changing their positions on independence and dating.
And I'm in here, man. Y'all ain't cleaned up the kitchen about a couple weeks now. I'm here for inspection for Section 8, and I'm trying to figure out why is it so dirty in here.
That's what you get when you're on Section 8 and disability.
This need to be cleaned up. This not passable at all.
Well, I can't clean up. If you told the landlord to get rid of the cockroaches, maybe I'd be able to clean.
I'm gonna have to fill this inspection, man, because I mean, look, this is dirty. This oh hell no. You got
what
roaches?
does that mean for my Section 8?
It means you got to find a new house.
Nobody accepts that voucher.
And nobody's gonna accept this dirtiness. This is unacceptable.
Can you hand me my pack of Marlboro lights over there?
You do know y'all got an infestation, right?
Obviously, I can feel them crawling on me when I'm sleeping.
How do you use the bathroom in here?
I just squat.
You got to call code for this one.
Call code. If you call code, I won't have any place to live. Don't bring my kids into this. I'm a single mother.
You ain't get no board acid?
I don't got none. I can't afford it. Disability only $9.60.
For decades, Section 8 was supposed to be the last line of defense against homelessness. But now, even that's collapsing. The question is, if the system built to help people survive no longer works, what happens next? And how many more families will have to lose everything before it gets fixed?